platform, and today with us we have Shankar Parasaram, who's handling the operations of Nextbit in India. These guys make this wonderful phone, and it's quite different from anything you have on the market right now. So, starting off with the design, Shankar, would you tell us where does the Nextbit Robin find its design inspiration from?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question, actually. As you might know, Nextbit was founded by Mike Chan and Tom Moss. Tom is our CEO and Mike is our CTO. They were both at Google,
Right.
and they both quit Google, founded a company called 3LM, and which got sold to Motorola. So they went to Motorola,
Right.
which got acquired by Google again. So they landed at Google. They quit Google again and then started Nextbit.
Right.
They had a great idea of how to solve a real world problem of lack of storage space. And based on that premise, they started Nextbit. And after that, they recruited Scott Croyle, who is our Chief Product Officer.
Right.
Scott is the original designer of HTC One M7
Okay.
devices, and he's the original designer of the metal unibody
Okay.
design. And he has a very keen sense of design, and his design is inspiration for many phones, including the one that you have right now. So when Scott came into the company, they also wanted to make a phone that we as users wanted to feel proud about using it, right?
Right.
The issue is that, like, if you look at any phone in the market, pretty much they look like any other phone. Like, there's nothing really stands out, and they just take inspirations from here and there, but it just looks like any other phone in the market. So they wanted to create a phone that stands out. Unlike any other phone in the market, and also something that they wanted to feel proud carrying it themselves, right? Like, so that's how the inspiration for Robin came in. And
But has he ever expressed as to where he drew his inspiration from? These bright colors, lighter colors, as you compare it with the initial HTC Unibody phones, those phones were more metallic. This one is very different in its approach to design. This takes you back. If I can take the liberty to imagine a little bit, maybe this one goes back to the times when we had those lighter colors in fashion. The 80s, the 70s. So in that sense, has he ever expressed as to what inspired him to make a phone which was so angular and had such bright colors?
Yeah, the true inspirations, probably it has to come from him. But the thing is that as for the colors, a lot of research went into it.
Right.
To see what is what colors are more prevalent and more popular during the current during the current time of the year.
Right.
And depending on the colors that are available for other products, a lot of research went in to see what is more popular. At the same time, Scott being a design officer, he's a design guy. He has an innate sense of aesthetics, right? Like, sometimes it's a little difficult to say, okay, where the inspiration came from.
Right. Of course.
It's like if you ask a painter, like, how did you paint this? Where is this inspiration? He might just say, I don't know.
Right.
Probably Scott got inspiration from somewhere. I honestly don't know about it. We should, when we have an opportunity, we should ask him. But what I feel is that, like, most of it would have come from his innate sense of aesthetics, his innate sense of design, and what looks good and what looks comfortable if someone holds it. And as for colors, I know for a fact that a lot of research went in to see what color would be good. You have to take the popularity of the color and also pair it up with the aesthetic sense to see come up with the final choice, right? Like, if you look at Nextbit Robin, we have two colors. Like, originally we had two colors.
There's one.
This is called the mint. Again, if you look at it, this is the mint color, and this is general white. And this choice was based on, as I mentioned, the research and everything.
Right.
But at the same time, we also offer the midnight version, which is more traditional. Professional, right? Like this one is more playful, if you want to call it that way. Midnight is more professional and.
So while designing, so Shankar, for now we have this specific color available on the market, which looks a little too fresh and funky to me. So what if I am one of those power suited kind of a person who has who has to show his darker side to people and who has to look more serious? What do I do?
Before I answer your question, let me tell you that this is one of our most popular colors.
Okay.
I mean, people really like this color, and this is one of the most popular colors. We call it the mint, and we also have this midnight. We call this the midnight. Actually, it looks pretty. Looks gray or black. But if you hold it to a dark color, or even if you hold it to a white color, you'll see that it's kind of like a bluish gray. This one is more.
Can I have a look at it?
Yeah, of course. This one is more formal and more traditional looking color. And actually, I'm going to introduce this to you.
Oh.
So this one is this we call this Ember.
So this one is not on the market yet.
Not yet, but it's going to be on sale at Flipkart pretty soon.
All right.
The phones are. We are making very limited number of these.
So for the viewers who are making a decision right now, maybe they should have a look at this. And
so this is going to be on sale at Flipkart like any day, like most likely tomorrow or as soon as possible, because the phone is already at customs. As soon as it clears customs, it will be available on sale at Flipkart. And so this is.
So we have effectively we'll have an option of 3 colors for India.
Right.
So these are 2 vibrant colors, and this is the more serious business-oriented kind of a color.
And I'm telling you that Ember is really in limited quantities.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
it's
those of you who are impressed with that color, maybe you should just log on to your Flipkart accounts and start ordering right now.
Yeah, it should be available at Flipkart like by tomorrow, I guess.
Apart from the aesthetic part of it, what problem within the market was being targeted while the phone was being developed?
Yeah.
So what gap was Nextbit trying to fill when they started designing and developing the Nextbit Robin?
So there are like two differentiating factors, right? Two aspects of it. One is this, that we felt that there is a hunger for a standout design, right? In the market. When, as I mentioned, like every phone looks like any other phone in the market, and there was a real hunger for something that looks different at the same time, aesthetic and pleasing to use. That hunger was definitely there, and the motivation, one of the design motivations was that. And then the second thing is that if you look at the pain points that most of the Android, even iOS users, the pain point that they have is the fact that your phone runs out of space really quickly. Especially these days with high resolution photos and videos and everything, your phone runs out of space very quickly. And I mean, that's a real world problem that we wanted to solve. I mean, increasing the memory or adding a SD card or something, we didn't feel that that's the way the industry should move. I mean, there are certainly many issues with adding a slot for an SD card. I mean, your card can get lost, stolen, corrupted, issues with that. And in general, that's not the way the industry should evolve. I mean, when we wanted to solve the problem, we felt that we should solve the problem in such a way that we take the industry forward, not backward, right? Like, cloud is certainly the way industry will move towards, move forward to. And even if you look at from a financial perspective, the storage space in the cloud is much cheaper than adding more space on the phone.
Right.
And on the network side, the bandwidths are going up.
Right.
There are some issues in some places, but still, the direction where the industry is going is to have higher bandwidth. And so we felt that solving this particular problem of lack of storage space, the right way to do this is through the cloud storage. So these are the two things that we wanted to solve, like creating a phone that stands out, that people will feel proud about using it, and at the same time solving a problem, pain point, in a way that takes the industry forward. Those are the two things.
In both ways, in terms of aesthetics as well as the amount of memory that the phone has, it's got 32 GB onboard memory, which is not bad at all, which is actually all the memory that an average user would probably require.
Yeah, so especially that point, right? Like, actually speaking, storage is certainly an optional feature, right? I mean, if you look at the settings, you can turn it off if you don't want to use it. The storage solution can be completely used without impacting your cellular bandwidth at all. Because by default, all the backups will happen only when you're connected to Wi-Fi, so it will not impact your cellular bandwidth. And when you want to restore something, again, it's completely under your control. You can restore it in Wi-Fi or in cellular network. So, practically, you can use the entire storage solution while you're in a Wi-Fi network. But at the same time, it's still optional. I mean, if users are uncomfortable about that, they can turn it off. It's very easy to. It's not like it's a must-use feature or anything.
So the goal is met. The design is differentiated enough. You have enough onboard memory. You have cloud storage. So in terms of differentiation, the phone is definitely differentiated. When I take this phone in my hand, it looks different enough. Although it's composites, it's not metal, but it looks and feels premium. Very nice to the hand, and it's something special. You can tell that it's very well designed. So in terms of market positioning, when you say that this, for India, specifically talking about India, when it's a sub 20,000 rupee phone, someone who has a taste and someone who has the money, someone who wants to be differentiated, this kind of a phone would probably not look too odd in the hands of that kind of a person also. And from that perspective, and with the kind of features that you guys are giving with the phone, I think that the pricing that you put it at is is a little aggressive. It could have been probably priced higher. So who's your target audience? Who are you actually targeting with this phone? Are you targeting the masses, or you're targeting a more niche kind of a customer who wants to be differentiated?
Yeah. So if you look at our USPs for the phone, if you look at the design part, then that design is certainly appealing to a lot of people who value design, who value uniqueness. So from a design perspective, we are certainly appealing to more design conscious users. We also appeal to tech enthusiasts who want to see, or you want to experience technology moving forward. Like with our storage solution, we also appeal to technology users. In general, young crowd. That's really the target audience. But in general, this phone, it's certainly useful for anybody, right? Like, it doesn't need any special knowledge or anything. It's just like it can be used like any other phone in a very pleasing, simple manner. And our UI is very close to stock Android. So nothing fancy or fancily difficult to use or anything like that. So in general, the phone can be used by anybody, anybody that's looking for a phone. But in particular, we target to young people and who are tech enthusiasts and also who value design.
So you guys have just came to India and you have just started selling the cell phone. How has the response been thus far? And going forward, are you guys planning to market it through the traditional channels like print advertisements or TV advertisements or radio? Or you guys are going to rely primarily on word of mouth and the reviews that the bloggers and other tech professionals, the people who review phones, they provide on their websites as well as the YouTube channels?
So, you're right that we just entered India, and this is our first phone in India. And for now, we our marketing is going to be more based on like reviews and influencers and word of mouth. But as we move forward, as we grow as a company, as well as we grow our presence, we will look into other forms of advertisements. Answering to your other question, at this point we are looking at only online retail sales, and at this point Flipkart is our exclusive partner on that. But as we move forward, there are options to explore or expand on that. But yeah, advertising for now, we're just going to rely on word of mouth and influencers, bloggers. And
so for now, if I may ask, can you share with me the number of phones, the number of units that you plan to sell over the next 1 year, the kind of market share that you are looking at?
Actually, that's not something that we share with anybody. But I can say that so far things have been going pretty much according to our expectations and our views. And we are very excited about the Indian market and the interest that the Indian consumers have shown in our phone.
So the Nextbit Robin has been there in the market as well. But for now, what are the challenges which are very specific to the Indian market that you are facing once you have come here? The challenges which are very specific to this market and things that you have not probably faced in other markets. So what are those challenges?
Certainly one positive is that like people like the design, love the design, and that's one easy thing for us to talk about. The challenge being, is that people still have some kind of misconceptions about the cloud storage. They still think that it will eat up your cellular bandwidth. Again, like we are relying on people like you, influencers, to kind of dispel that myth. It's actually a myth. As I mentioned, the entire storage feature can be used using a Wi-Fi network. You don't have to use cellular at all. But still, like people, when they hear about Nextbit, they think, oh, it's a cloud phone. It's going to eat up my cellular bandwidth, which is completely not true.
Right.
That dispelling that myth is probably the only thing.
The big challenge.
Yeah. and we are relying on people like you to help us like dispel that myth and help us correct that.
That's only an add-on. I think you already have a phone which is functional in every.
Exactly.
In a way, every other phone functions. It already has an onboard memory, so that's not a problem.
Yeah.
So going forward, do you guys plan to set up some kind of manufacturing facility here, or you want to sell through more brick and mortar shops and set up your service centers? What are the plans going forward for a market like India?
Actually, all those things that you mentioned, they're all possibilities. Certainly, establishing manufacturing, establishing development centers, establishing relationship with brick and mortar, all those things are possibilities for us. But for us right now, the focus is to meet our customers' requirements and support our customers' needs on the phone that we are selling right now. On Robin, we are on the engineering side. We are focused a lot on fixing issues reported through our community and providing regular releases. And in general, supporting our community and engaging with them. So those are our focus right now, and we're actually bringing out really cool features in the short term. Like we are adding video support. Right now, the phone will archive only, as I mentioned, like pictures and applications. Very shortly, we are doing video support. We'll archive videos to the cloud. We are going to open up a web portal through which you can look at your archived pictures and videos. That's coming up very soon. And we also announced some cool features on battery using machine learning technology that is already working in the Robin in terms of identifying your pictures and applications that need to be archived. We are going to extend that. We are doing a lot of R&D on that. We're going to extend that for battery optimizations and power saving. So we are really working on cool features for that. In these aspects, and at the same time supporting our customers, meeting their requirements, answering their questions. That's been our focus right now. We want to make them happy to the extent possible, and then at the same time we are also looking at all the other things that you mentioned. It will happen one
So
after
I wish you all the best for that. Robin is your first offering in the market,
right?
and Robin makes me think on the lines of Batman. So do we get to see the Batman sometime soon?
I'm not sure if that's going to be a Batman. Yeah, but we don't. I mean, we're not announcing any next generation phone as of yet. I don't think it's going to be a Batman even if we do it. Yeah.
So if not Batman, no, are there any other products, or is Nextbit as a brand? What's the philosophy like? Robin is a product right now, but most of the companies which are into such products, they have their line of other products as well, like smart wearables, etc. So for now, is there any other plan?
No.
Any plan to start any other the introduction of any other product, or Robin is the only thing that we should be looking
I
at?
mean, a phone. I would say a phone is the main thing. It's probably the only thing that we're looking at right now. At this point, we are not looking at any other wearable or anything else. So we are just focusing on phones. I think our expertise is on phones as of now, and so we wanted to take one thing and do a good job at it.
Looking at the phone, when you look at the phone and you see that it's not made of metal, when everyone else is going metallic these days, HTC and iPhone started it. Now some of the other players which are somewhat similar to the positioning that you have in the market, like OnePlus, are also going the metal way. So in that sense, how well received has the phone been across the world when people look at it from the perspective that it's a composite, it's not it's not a metallic phone. So in that sense, how good or bad have been the reviews from customers as well as the reviewers worldwide?
Actually, reviews from customers and reviewers have been really fantastic about the phone design as such, right? Like invariably, what people say is that like when I hold the phone in my hand, it really looks premium. It really feels premium. I mean, even though it's plastic, I mean they still use that in the code, even though it's plastic, right? I mean, the fact is that invariably everybody admits to the fact that the phone is very premium. So I mean, that's probably an interesting aspect as well. That like it's a proof that like a premium phone, premium looking and premium feeling phone can still be made out of plastic. I mean,
Right.
You don't have to really go to metal to make a premium phone. A premium phone can still be made with plastic, and everything. I think everything comes out to the design philosophy, and if you have the right combination of aesthetics and design, you can make great phones out of plastic, and Robin is definitely a proof for that.
I would agree with that after having taken the phone in my hand and realized that firsthand. On software front, what are the unique points that your design team in terms of software has introduced to the phone? You said that it's a near stock experience for the user, but are there any unique points about the software on this phone?
Sure. I mean, there are certainly some unique aspects to the software. Like first of all, it is very close to stock Android. See, I mean, Google has done really a fantastic job in designing the user experience, in designing in the material design and everything. And we really didn't want to reinvent the wheel and like have our own design overlay on top of it. So having stock pretty close to stock is, I mean, it's turned out to be very good for us because people know about stock Android. Apart from that, we made some changes, some minor changes to Android. Like for example, on the launcher, we have our own launcher. The app drawer is not there. I mean, that's one change. And then the widget space, we moved it to a different area. Like you do a pinch on the main home screen, you can go to the widget. It kind of helps you keep your widgets slightly in private. That's one small change, and we have a floating action button Fab that not exactly takes the role of app drawer, but to an extent it does. And we have also introduced some cool gestures. For example, as I mentioned, if you don't want the phone to archive a particular app, like for example, you can pull down on an app, and we call that as pinning, pinning an app. You can pin an app and unpin an app by a simple gesture of pulling down on that app. We've added simple gestures like that. Apart from that, it's very stock Android, and we made some very light skinning on few applications like clock, dialer, things like that, calculator. Very simple applications. Very simple skinning on top of that. Apart from that, it's very much stock Android. Yeah. But if you look at it, if you look at the UI, it still gels really well with the phone design. Right. And even though we haven't departed to large extent from stock Android experience, we try to stay very close to it. Still, whatever we've done kind of goes really well with the stock Android experience as well as our design philosophy. So that's what we've tried to achieve. Provide a very unified experience, hardware and software wise.
So that is also a reason why you have not used the top specs or the very best of the hardware or the software. The very best of the hardware as the driver of your phone. As I see, the OS and the UI seems to be complementing the hardware, which may not be top drawer, but have you done something very specific to make sure that it works very well and there's no lag, and if someone using heavy applications, it works really well?
Yeah,
are there optimizations at the software level to make sure that
we've done a lot of optimizations. We've done a lot of power optimizations, performance optimizations. That are kind of unique for us. We've put in a lot of R&D effort on that. Yeah, we've done it, but having a very light skin over, I'd like to restrict it only to certain applications, and staying very close to stock Android. That itself provides a lot of benefit for us in terms of performance. And on top of that, we have done some optimizations. I'm actually, even though I'm leading the India operations here, I'm actually a part of the engineering team, and I've worked very closely on some of these aspects, and we've done a lot of optimizations on power and performance.
Nextbit Robin apart, you have worked with Qualcomm as well in the past, and you bring along a lot of experience, a wealth of experience from the hardware industry as well. So what is it that's preventing India from also becoming a powerhouse in terms of manufacturing of all these processors and cell phones and all these electronic items, which our neighbors are turning into a big powerhouse, and shipping stuff to the rest of the world? What are the very intrinsic issues that this industry is facing, specifically from an India perspective?
Yeah, I think one good thing is that things are coming up now. Like a lot of push is happening on the Make in India and the Manufacture in India push. With that, things are starting to look up. I think one of the important things that still need to happen in India is the build-up of the entire ecosystem, right? Like for example, I've traveled to Taiwan a lot, and I've worked with our partner Foxconn a lot. And the thing is that if you go to Taiwan, let's say you want to talk to display vendors. You make a phone call, and like 3 display vendors will come and talk to you the next day or within a week. And any simple component you take a camera module, you take a display fingerprint, any component that you want, you can find suppliers right next door,
right?
Same city, practically right next door, right? Like, so you can talk to them. You can, when you put together a phone, hundreds of components have to come together and work together, right? And things have to be very closely controlled and very closely optimized. And having that expertise for all the different components, and having the support for all the different components next to you when you need it, that is the key differentiating factor. And once that happens, once that ecosystem gets developed, then we'll see a lot more lot more activities of having designs coming out of India, having manufacturing coming out of India. I mean, we have to start from where we are, and I think a good start has been made with respect to Make in India. Things are in kind of getting assembled in India right now, but once that picks up, then slowly the ecosystem gets built where, as I mentioned, all the component vendors and the component suppliers, they all kind of find a place here. Once that happens, then designs will start showing up here from here, and that's when I think things will be taken to the next level. Like, for example, if someone wants to, if I'm a hardware designer, I want to design hardware from India right now. If I want to talk to a component vendor, I have to talk to them over phone, like from Taiwan or China or somewhere, right? Like, as opposed to if I'm sitting in Taiwan, I can sit in one place, can make phone calls, and within a week I can talk to like 5 vendors for each of the component, come up with a design, right? Like, so that ecosystem needs to develop, and I think it will. The ecosystem, it will develop. Once that happens, I think you'll see more designs coming out of India.
So I really appreciate the fact that Nextbit Robin is such a differentiated kind of a phone. I've read about it. I've seen it on YouTube. I've seen the pictures of it. But today I managed to take it in my hand for the first time, and I think it's differentiated enough. It may not have the top drawer specs, but I think it works really well, and as a package it comes across as something which is very striking. So I wish you all the best for your endeavor to make this brand which gets successful in India very soon, and I'm sure that I'll get to meet you sometime soon again.
I'm traveling a lot to India these days. We can certainly meet very.
So all the best, Shankar.
Thank you. Thanks for your time. Yeah.